Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Well, what do we have here? Dun, dun, dun. MAGA. The MAGA Report. Brought to you by Collin County. Yeah, fam. Yeah. Check this out, family. The DA and the judge in the Karmelo Anthony case has been accused of being closely associated with MAGA. Yeah, makes sense. Nobody's surprised, right? After all, Collin County, Texas is about 50% white, 16% Hispanic, about 19% Asian, only 11% black, which means that the power dynamics are totally lopsided. And let me address this before I go any further. I've been hearing a lot of talk about how diverse the jury box was. Yet, it was not diverse enough to have a black person, at least one black person. Look, okay, blacks only represent 11%. Okay, let's round it off, 10%. So, if you got 12 jurors, we're supposed to have at least one black one. If we're going to go by the population, if we want to stay in proportion to the population, we should have at least one black juror, right? No. And one wouldn't have been enough, but at least one, right? Just for sake of argument, at least one. I can guarantee you, first of all, this would never happen. It would never happen where a all black jury was judging the fate of a white person for murder. But let's just say it did. I can guarantee you that trial would have never gotten off the ground. The same people who are raising hell right now, who are dragging Karmelo and his innocent parents who had nothing to do with the incident whatsoever, they would be singing a different tune. Because that's how hypocrites do. Hypocrites conform to the narrative. They have no convictions. Well, let me back up. Their only conviction is self-entitlement. That's it. Self-entitlement, narcissism, yeah, that type of thing. That's what they do. But here's where they messed up at, family. They took it too far. They was just way too blatant with the racism. Way too blatant. You went and struck every single black juror, and they struck 3 black jurors because they said that they were educators. What they really meant was they were educated and they were not willing to sell out the brother. Because they don't mind, let's not be fooled by color, because they can put a person, a dark person, a black person on that jury stand, and they can straight out sell out the other black person. They do it all the time. In fact, there were people who were allegedly paid off to not tell their side of the story. Yeah, fam. Yeah, black and white. Yeah. This needs federal intervention, but not now. Like not this federal agency, because, and the thing is that Karmelo, we got to get him out as soon as possible. We got to get him out of there as soon as possible. But, oh man, it's an uphill battle. It's an uphill battle. And right now, if you ain't helping, you're hurting. It is an uphill battle. These people straight up did exactly what they wanted to do. They had no fear. Family, it should be illegal for someone who is accused of a crime, who is being investigated for crimes, who is being sued for crimes, violations, to stand in judgment of someone else. That should be illegal. Let's see. Discrimination, racial discrimination, and discrimination against women, sexual abuse, and a whole bunch of other stuff. They try to act like the judge is some upstanding guy, right? The judge rushed the trial. He wanted to get it over with real quickly because he was trying to sweep it under the rug. Yeah. From what I understand, the judge and the DA is MAGA, deep in the MAGA. They have hosted and also donated to MAGA causes. Now, we all know MAGA is different from just being a Republican. MAGA is the cult of the Republican Party. These are the uncivilized mutts who would love for things to go all the way back to the 60s. In fact, if they could, they'd go back to the 1800s. I know some of y'all wish like, hey, y'all think y'all got enough power to enslave black folks. Y'all think y'all can make it happen. That ain't never gonna happen. Everybody gonna die for that happen again. Everybody gonna die. Because we now know ain't no coming back from it. We now know how bad it really was. Whoo, man, we know the brutality. We know the dehumanization was next level. And we know that you uncivilized mutts are descendants of those who committed those atrocities. That's why you won't even acknowledge the fact that a debt is owed. A monetary debt is owed. You're so arrogant that you think you ain't gonna pay that debt. Oh, that debt gonna get paid one way or another. I can promise you that. I get so sick and tired of certain black people saying, oh, that reparations ain't gonna never happen. I wish it was a way to keep tally of that and where when it does happen, they automatically don't get a nickel. But you already know what's gonna happen. As soon as it happens, their ass gonna be the first ones in line. Yeah. If slavery can end with the dependency that the U.S. had on slavery, free income, free labor, if that can come to an end, well, a check can actually absolutely be stroked. A check can absolutely be stroked. And don't tell me nothing about we ain't got it. The budget. Hell, we had $1 billion a year. $1 billion a day to go fight an unjust war. We got money for everything. Hell, you got what did you spend? How many millions did he just spend putting up that damn octagon for the UFC 250th American anniversary? How much money they spent on that? They got money for everything. When they want something, the money come up like that. They find the money like that. They don't give a damn. They just get money, just money. They got it. They got money. Just like America is, let me put it like this. The American people are a microcosm of America. Americans find money for everything they want. When American wants something, they spend their money on what they want. Americans will beg for what they need and pay for what they want. They'll beg for what they need and pay for what they want. That's how Americans get down. These guys are absolutely MAGA. No surprise here. They're MAGA. Ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. They are MAGA. And because they operate in a very MAGA-like manner. This guy runs the DA office, and you let the staff, this is the staff sued him. You know it's bad when the staff sues. This is not even outside of suing the DA's office. This is the staff saying that the conditions working under this guy, who was described as a tyrant, was the worst thing that ever happened to them. This dude was sexually harassing his staff members. He was calling meetings and get into a meeting with the women and say, "Oh, yo, this is personal." He was that bold that he could just straight up tell him it's personal. "I can't keep my eyes off you. This is personal. It got nothing to do with business." And then when they would complain, he would insult them and tell them, "Hey, you want a job? You want to keep working here? Shut up." And obviously, like so many other women do, they want to keep their job, so they keep quiet. They keep thinking that things are going to get better. They feel like they can handle it. And then things get so out of control to where they have no choice. All you men out there, some of you have no idea what your woman is going through on the job. You have no idea how she's being harassed on her job on a daily basis. You have no idea. That's why, if you can, man, you got to get out of there, man. You got to get to that bank, get that paper, man, and make sure she get up out of there. If you want to run some business, let it be where she's the boss. Because anytime you're working for somebody else, and that person is an a-hole, if that person is a R-A-P-E, a R-A-P-I-S-E, if that person is a criminal, a demon, that energy is going to transfer to you. You're going to end up on anxiety pills. You're going to be stressed out. You might get an aneurysm messing with these dudes. Heart attack. Yeah. Look how he look. He ain't had no girls growing up. Ain't no woman who. Look at his mouth. Yeah. You can tell he ain't get no action growing up. Him neither. Look at him. He look like the weasel that all the girls were like, you gonna bring him? You gonna bring Roach? John Roach? He look like one of them type of dudes. Like, he's just creepy. He's creepy. He looked like the dude that was always in the mix, but the girls didn't like him, and they didn't like him at all because he was creepy. He looked creepy. He got the right name, Roach. Roach, a cockroach. So now he's retiring because he thinks that he's going to be able to retire and all of this stuff is going to be put behind him. No, Johnny. You got another thing coming. You did some things while you was sitting on that bench that's going to come to light before you were able to call it a night. It is. For sure. We know. We got you. MAGA, we see you. We see you. Collin County, and they're not the only ones. The people who work for them also are guilty. They know who they are. They know what their thoughts are behind closed doors. Yeah, they know exactly who they are. There were people involved in this case who got paid to not be involved in this case. There were people who were involved in this case who got paid to not put a case on. Now you think about that. You got paid to fight a case that you decided you didn't want to fight. That's cold-blooded, man. Free Karmelo. No more talk.